Okay, our goal this afternoon is to chunk it. We're going to go 8 to 10 questions at a time. You're going to start grading yourself. We're going to break it down 5 to 10 questions at a time, 5 to 8 questions at a time, and then we're going to take a look at it, talk about it, and go through it. Everybody, let's do 6 through 11. Number 6, what's the answer? Why is it the answer? What's the key phrase? Most current information. Another hint, most current. If you see the word authentic, A-U-T-H-E-N-T-I-C, 9 out of 10 times that is the answer. Authentic, current, most advanced technology, etc. That's going to help you. Number 7. Oh, what kind of question is this? Ethics, thank you. What's the answer? Reassure the parents. That key word is reassure. Your job is to reassure the parents. Number 8, what kind of question of it is it? Assessment, testing. What's the answer?
Variety of ways.
Oh, what? She just said it. We're using a plethora, a variety of ways. Anything that shows that you're being creative and out of the box in your perfect world, you're going to notice that answer. Variety, a plethora, whatever the term is. I can't think of all the vocab terms. There you go. Differential, differentiated, using different assessments. Number 9, what kind of question is it? Procedural. What's the key thing you're looking at? Internalizing. Yeah, internalizing is perfect, but what grade level is this? There you go, you sassy pantsas, you. You're doing great. Number 10, what's the key element? First grade. You got it. You're reading for first grade. You're not reading for high school teachers. Don't forget, you go, oh man, yeah, this is great. I know what I would do. They're 6 years old. They're 6 years old. They can't read. It's a cause to effect relationship, man. Number 11. What kind of question is it? Wait, what kind of question is it? Internet and procedures. It's procedural, but it's about the internet. What do you do first? How do you provide an alternative? That's appropriate. That's appropriate given the opportunity to have access to the same information, right? Perfect. Yes, ma'am. 11B, allow the student to practice computer skills by using other computer programs. Is that your lesson plan? That's not your lesson plan. See, that's they're trying to throw you off. You're trying to combine computer skills with your lesson. Computer skills are not your lesson. Your lesson's already outlined. Here we go. Good job. How many people missed none? Good. You're in good shape. You're 11 down, 80 to go. How many people missed 1? How many people missed more than 1? Don't worry about it. You're doing fine. You're just getting warmed up. You'll be all right. Here we go. 12 through 19. The first one, 12 and 13, is two questions for one situation. This is where you read it 3 times. I guarantee you read it 3 times, you're going to see something different each time. What's the buzzword? Rubric. Rubric. We know what a rubric is. We want students to take responsibility, don't we? We want students to have the most opportunity to assess themselves. We want students to be the best things that ever since sliced bread. We want students to take responsibility. What's the answer at number 12? Why is it A? The student has a responsibility to understand the criterion to show the quality, the best quality of work. Quality is a great word. When you see that word quality, you're going to look at it twice. Number 13. Oh, procedural. What's the answer? I can't hear you. Why? What's it do? And it's encouraging the students to do what? Think about their work. There you go. Who is responsible? The student. Oh my gosh, there's a theme here. I love this. I feel like it's like a major head rush. 14. Oh, kindergarten. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, here we go. Please note, over 70% of the questions, as I told our little high school people over here, especially my engineer, who's teaching engineering, that 70% of these questions you'll see are kindergarten, first grade, third grade, fourth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade. And then it just kind of stops, right? A high school student, you're not going to see many of those. So high school teachers, now our algebra teacher here, she's in a routine. She's got an EOC, she's got to get ready for the STAR test. That principal and AP is going to be on her like white on rice. If the kids don't do good, she's going to get support. He's not. Engineering is an elective. Health science is an elective. Okay? 14, what's the answer? Excellent. Sensory discovery is the key. Hands-on, authentic, real rocks in the kids' hands. 15, what's the answer? What made you do that? 15 is an ELL question. Do you know it or you don't? Remember, you're going to spend 1 hour looking at the telpus before you take the test. And after an hour, I guarantee you'll get it. This is not rocket science. There's not some ESL specialist coming in going, I have the formula and you don't. It's right there. You do this, 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 you fall in this category. That's it. You're going to have to memorize it. There's no other way to do it. 16. What's the answer? Why?
Yeah, it wasn't just a few, it was all of them.
All the kids, what do? What's common sense? Reteach. Or you sit there and go, boy, you guys are stupid today. I did the best teaching in the world. You're not getting it. It's time for us to move on anyways. You always reteach. 17, what's the answer? What kind of question is it? Perfect world and parent involvement. 18, what's the answer? Why? Who's got the responsibility? To be what? There you go. And 19, what's the answer?
D.
Why?
Those are two good things to give your kids.
There's two good things right there. Guidelines for each stage with an end mind or a completion in mind. Okay, how many missed? 1. 2. More than 2. Okay, don't panic yet. Don't panic yet. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Turn the page. It is a new type of question. What is it? Decision set begins here. What do you see? Data, a graph. What did I tell you? Look at it 3 times. Don't dive into the question. Don't act like, unless you're like that kind of learner, sit back, take a breath, and look at the whole data. Look at it twice, 3 times. Alyssa, comprehension, 13. Don't even look at the questions yet. Look at the data, data. Then, read the question, go back to the data. Relax. Okay, here we go. You look at the data. You're going to start taking a look at the data. You go, okay, where am I at? Number 20. What's the answer? And what are you trying to figure out anyways in any kind of question?
The strength and weakness.
The strength and weakness. You're always looking for their strengths and weaknesses. Data shows you high and low, or strengths and weaknesses. 21, what's the answer? Either you know it or you don't. Either you forget it or you don't. I told you earlier today you'll get questions like this. No, mean, average, median. Here it is. Okay? Remember that. Data is based on mean, average, median of an assessment. 22. Why?
If you want to use data to help students learn better.
You want the data to use students learn better, and you want to start doing what?
Grouping.
Perfect. Thank you. Here we go. Always use data to guide your instruction and to group students with strengths and weaknesses. Now, we're going to go to 30. This is 1/3 of the test. We're going to go to 30. And then we're going to get our percentage. Now we'll go to 31. Just for giggles. 31. Ready, go. I have one person per one question. I want that person will stand up and they'll say, I got this answer and how I got this answer and if I was right or wrong. Okay, 23.
A. Why? Because you got to butter them up a little bit. Show interest in Colin's life outside your classroom, that you're noticing him, and his contributions to the class, which are away from what else you're about to speak about. Does that make sense?
Perfect. The way she said it was perfect. She said clearly, you're going to butter them up. You always start with the positive anytime you talk with a kid. And she said, okay, start off with this, and then we'll go to the issue. Always. That's kind of a rule of thumb. So she said, we're going to start out positive, and we're going to move on. Perfect. Thank you so much. You were awesome. 24. Here he is.
Okay, I put C, criterion reference, and it's because he talks about how he's wanting to focus on improving certain skills, so certain criteria within the assessment, not the assessment as a whole, which is what makes your difference.
And either you know it or you don't. Either you know it or you don't. There's 3 categories, and the way he explained it, he knows it. Criterion reference, norm reference, summative. Either you know it or you don't. You look at every 4 categories of assessment and you know it. There's no reading the context to get the answer. It's like ELL. There's no like, well, maybe it's this category. No, that's a guess. Okay? Either you know it or you don't. Who has 25? Here you go. Sped. Sped.
I chose D because when the parent asks about a list of kids, he can then say, tell me the tutor's name. So if I have kids that come up, I can reference that tutor to them and they're within the same class.
What kind of question is it? Ethics, legal, confidentiality. Perfect. Anybody miss that one? Good, because that would be silly. 26.
So for 26, I chose C.
Were you right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what's that word?
Constructive.
Oh no, stop. Wait a minute. It was on our board this morning. Why, how smart of us. Go ahead.
I chose constructivist because during process of elimination, which normally helps me, operant conditioning dealt with behavior, and we weren't talking about behavior.
Good.
Interdisciplinary learning was incorporating another subject, and it didn't talk about another subject or any information that could be relevant to another subject. So, and Gestalt, I didn't really necessarily know what it was.
It's holistic. It's experiential gestalt.
But at the constructivist, the students were actually constructing an image. So, word association.
You are a daisy. Perfect. Question.
So, yeah, can you expand on the gestalt?
Yes. I'm going to give you a short. Gestalt is about experiential. It's about students would be involved in role playing, to mimicking each other, mirroring each other. It's very, Gestalt is very experiential, very holistic, almost existential in nature. Existential. Gestalt therapy. I'll tell you right now, 99.9% nobody, teacher and TEA, is going to use Gestalt as an answer. That's more of a Montessori approach. You know, it's a whole different world. Yeah. But constructivism you'll see in different ways. Who has 27?
I picked B because it says for beginner English language learners, so all the other questions, they're not anything to do with having them at beginner learning.
Right. You're going to go with the easiest thing by virtue of it being a beginner. That is an ELL question. You see how many, you know how many there are so far? There's been 5. What number are we on? 27. It's 1/4 of the test. 1/5. We got to get this. 28. Be careful. She's mad.
So this one was about the 8th grade science teacher planning a project. So the keywords that I honed in on were when the teacher is organizing the group. So the teacher is organizing the group. So I was automatically able to rule out A because it said allowing students autonomy in forming the groups. Also, it said successful collaboration. So in answer choice C, which is what I chose, it said asking each group to draft a work plan that includes responsibilities to review with the teacher. So if we set what everybody is supposed to do, their roles, how everybody participates, what are the consequences and everything prior to, then everybody knows their role, so everybody can successfully collaborate together.
So the theme was collaboration.
Yes.
The theme was personal responsibility for each group member. Perfect. 29. Who has 29?
I do.
Okay.
I chose A because by assessing their own knowledge, they are assuming responsibility for learning.
Did that work? Was that right? Did that trick right?
In the ideal world, yeah.
Right, in the real world, in the fantasy land.
In the fantasy land.
There we
Yes,
go.
it does.
I always let my students do everything they want in the class and then take responsibility. That's scaffolding, correct. Yes.
Okay.
That's scaffolding to the T. So when you start looking those terms up, you'll see. 30, my 6th grade math teacher.
I actually didn't know the answer to this one. She helped me out.
Okay.
But she said that, which I agreed with, the most important thing is checking to see if it's valid first, because you don't want the kids to have to read a whole thing about it and then try and see if it's valid, or see if it has updated information and then see if it's valid. You want to check to see if it's valid first. So it made sense. Yeah.
Validity. If you're talking about validity and legitimacy. Validity and legitimacy. Those are 2 words that they like to use. Is this source legitimate? Is this source valid?
31, I picked D, and mostly because A and B, I
close out immediately because he wasn't working independently. He wasn't interacting with peers. So then I looked at C and D, express a challenge or extend knowledge, and the teacher is clearly trying to extend the knowledge. The kid already knew the answer, but then she's prying or he's prying to get more information.
Good. Deduction. And that phrase, extending knowledge is a great phrase too, you know? I mean, that's a teacher phrase. We're going to go all the way to 45. That's 50% of the test. Question?
We have a how is the PPR graded question. Are all the questions?
Okay, people are asking me, how is the PPR graded? Here we go. Some questions are weighted heavier than others. But you don't know which version of the test, and you don't know what that is. Okay? What you do know is that all the parent-related questions, all the ESL questions, and all the teacher delivery questions or procedural questions are going to be weighted and not weighted differently. They're going to be weighted heavily. Whether you copy a chapter of a test or whether you don't, and that kind of question is going to be weighted lighter. So you know that. So for example, that one about copying, what is it, the chapter versus the, if they're going to weight anything lighter, those are the kind of questions they're going to weight lighter. Does that make sense? They're going to throw out, if it's a plus or minus factor of 5, they're going to throw out 5 on the average. That's about it. It's a pretty cause to effect test. Good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through 45. We're going to get our 50% benchmark. Other than that, there's nothing else I can tell you or give you. There's no more secrets. There's no more chunking. You know what you need to do. You're categorizing. You're at that point now. You know what you got to do. 32? Thank you. Listen, please. Perfect. Self-evaluate. The whole idea of self-actualization one more time. 33. Who's got 33? Right this way, young lady.
Okay, so basically, that was a question about how if you can hang stuff on the wall or not.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, and I put D and I got it right because you can't put the grades up, but you could. That's the confidentiality. But you can have their name listed or something.
But they're great.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, 32. Okay, quick question. Hold on, please.
How is that different from peer grades? I thought that was legal.
Peer grade's not publicly.
You can't
Not
give
publicly
them the
displayed.
teacher grade.
Right.
Like once it's graded, then the student can't see it. Students can grade and then give to the teacher, and then once the teacher sends a grade, then you can't give it back.
Okay, got it.
Good. 34. Who has 34?
Third grade students working Bloom's taxonomy in the synthesis level. Synthesis level is not listing, describing, or comparing, so the answer would be D, constructing.
Wait, it was Bloom's. OMG, I sure got a P. There you go. There's be more Blooms. You just watch and see, mark my little words. And you need to know Blooms. And what you're going to do, you're going to put it in your classroom, and you're going to put it up on that wall. You're going to go, man, that's the coolest thing. 35.
That's me.
Right here.
All right, I chose A for 35 because it's important to maintain parent contact with parents for behavior, and especially if the student is on a behavior intervention plan.
And especially why?
Because it shows that teachers actively monitoring.
Actively monitoring, because the BIP is going to ask you to do what? Actively monitor it. Good job. Good job, kiddo. Got it? How many people missed that one?
I was fight between A and C on that. Yeah, I changed.
35.
I should have picked the two perfect.
Okay? It's about knowing the requirements of a BIP. 36.
I chose C because the teacher is providing something to the students that makes it challenging for each student. And D, I kind of thought about for a little bit, but if you let students pick, they're not going to necessarily meet the standards you need.
Perfect.
So,
Student responsibility was a definite draw to you,
yeah.
but you also have to have structure and procedure. Perfect. 37.
37, I chose A. It's wrong, but that's what I chose. I was thinking that it says it needs to be challenging. The right answer is C, and the difference is that it says it could be difficult, but I saw challenging as that if it's the kid was uninterested, because if it's too difficult, then it's not challenging. It's got to be just like one step above where it should be to be challenging, and that's why I had chose A initially.
Good reasoning, but in a perfect world, they got you.
Yes.
38. Right here.
Okay, 38 is
Listen.
It's about copyright media, and you can copy some of this portion of this document and use it. So it's a letter C. For educational purpose, you can use copyright, but only pieces of not irregular.
And either you know it or you don't.
No.
There you go. 39. Who's 39? Right here, coming your way.
It's a middle school project, science project, and they wanted the teacher comes a group asking if a person is not doing their work, and she confronts them by having each one is choose 8, because it provides to see the teacher see each point of view from each one.
So the children are getting a shared and equal just response. Very good. Thank you. 40.
40 was about the appropriate way of you showing graphing. And the thing is, I was looking at each one. It just didn't make sense to use word processing. That one.
Good, okay.
Or online blog, why would you do that? It's not very effective. The only one that made sense with the spreadsheet, you need to be able to use the actual technology to show them, only because I'm a math teacher too, so that was the one that automatically made sense to me.
So what she says is basically it was a common sense breakdown for her. Some really look stupid. There's going to be 20% of your questions, 15% of your questions that are just basically common sense. That's a common sense thing. I'm not going to use word probably. I'm going to use a spreadsheet. 41. Here we are.
Yolanda's ELL learner. She speaks, her writing skills are comparable to those of grade level peers. I chose D because she can write and read, I believe. Is it writing?
Mm-hmm.
As well as a native speaker.
But you know your ELL stuff.
Not really.
But you're right. You deducted it, but you were right. So either you get it or you don't. Either you know it or you don't.
Well, I know it goes from beginning,
Intermediate, advanced.
high.
Right. That's good.
It's in the order, yeah.
And it's in that order.
Isn't it?
Well, 42.
42.
Listen up, please. Last push, last push.
A teacher notices one of his middle school students has been acting differently. That's one about the shy student that all of a sudden hangs out with the wrong crowd. I just qualified a lot of the other answers because it starts to discuss suspicion rather than fact.
Perfect.
And so on D, you're giving the student the benefit of the doubt, you're voicing your concern, and you're also telling them that you're concerned about them while gathering information. So
Perfect.
D is in Delta.
Perfect. That was allowing for the privacy and the rights, coupled with the suspicion. When in doubt, you check it out. It's giving responsibility for the adult.
43. So the high school teacher was keeping track of things she did over the year, what went well, and what she wanted to change next time, which was B, self-assessment and reflection.
Easy. Okay, look at what does it mean? What are they saying? 44.
According to the national guidelines established for fair use, Which of the following may be legally photocopied for educational purposes? A chapter from a student book, that's too much information, you cannot do that. A section from a state standardized test, you can't do those either. You can use old tests, but you can't use a section from that. A collection of works from an author, you can't use a whole collection. A cartoon from a newspaper, let's see. If it's an old standardized test, I guess you could do B. Is it B?
D.
D?
B is true, but only if it's a release test. It has to be called a release test. Not a standardized test, but right, but there's a release. Right. It's a matter of semantics. Cartoon you can do. Right. Star release.
Copyrighted as well.
Cartoons are copyrighted, but they're also free for use outside of. You can also do excerpts of, you can do 3/4 of a chapter.
Right, and you could use components.
Yeah.
but not.
Yeah. You have a question?
Yeah, so you cannot photocopy a chapter out of a book and distribute it to the students?
No. And 45. Right here.
Okay, so mine said,
Listen up, listen up. Last one. Listen up.
which of the following strategies would best foster positive and productive group interactions among group members? I picked C, role playing. I automatically looked at the age and the grade level, which was first grade, so that automatically said.
You're a fine kiddo. The age giveaway.
Yeah.
What I want you to do right now at 45, get your percent again. That's half the test. So look at your percent one more time and take a look at what you got. How many people got 90%? 80 to 90. Good. 70 to 80. Now here's your cut point. Because you haven't studied, you haven't got the ESL, ELL stuff, and you just got some of the tips. If you're at 60% or above, you're fine. 60 or above. 60 to 70. Thank you.